But Devin Choksi is joining in. He's the managing director at DR Choksi FinServe. Devin, hi, good morning. Of course, the point is not specifically about JM Financial or IIFL Finance, right? It's more about the larger NBFC space and the kind of crackdown that's coming in from the RBI because of serious governance issues that they're noticing here. As an investor, what do you do with this entire pocket and these specific stocks?
Yeah, good morning, Sonia. Well, I think this is very clear. Those companies which are relatively strong on every aspect of governance and compliances, I think one should not be worrying about those companies. Uh, Say, for example, I think the companies like Bajaj Finance, who has taken, I think, more than 15 years to basically stabilize themselves into the business and created a book size of around 3 lakh crore have perfected over a period of time, I think, how the products are delivered on the various platforms, be it on a store platform or through a digital platform. So from great perspective, I guess I think they have actually, I think, mastered the art of, I think, how to manage the compliances and the governance on the top of it. I think we'll have to differentiate some of these companies. I do agree that I think in the haste of making the business grow faster, some of these companies have probably compromised, I think, some levels of compliances. And that's where I think the investor should be worried about. I would think that I think the larger companies which have got relatively stable infrastructure and the base should not be into any kind of a problem. On the contrary, I feel that companies like Bajaj Finance could continue to grow at the rate of 30% plus because of the higher amount of focus on the retail consumers at the same time.
Okay, all right. Hi, Devin. Good morning. Devin, I wanted to ask you, about two large trades that we're looking forward to. One is on Zomato and the other one is on Motherson's Samvardhana. The street was anticipating that. And on Motherson Samvardhana, in fact, yesterday the stock ended at the high point of the day and it appears demand is pretty good out there. Your view on both these two names?
So I guess I think the shifting of hands is probably I think good as far as I think companies like Zomato is concerned. The newer set of investors are getting into the company as we have seen continuously in last 3 to 4 quarters, wherein I think systematically I think the existing investors have probably given up and they have moved into, and the newer investors have moved into the company. I believe that I think they bring I think the right kind of influence. Fortunately, the business-wise the things are improving for companies like Zomato. So from that perspective, I think the new investor will have relatively better calculations to talk about as far as I think the numbers and the appreciation is concerned. Though I would remain cautious about this aspect that the stock is adequately priced or I think at least for next 2 years, as I see it, even though some part of the improvement in the business model is happening through the revenue. I still feel that I think if the stock comes down to a certain extent, that would be a better opportunity as far as Zomato is concerned. In this situation with Motherson Sumi, I believe that this particular company too has relatively stronger play to offer. Already the automobile ancillary companies are seeing a good amount of traction because the OEMs are growing systematically. And the EV component is helping most of these companies grow further. So I do not know about the new buyer, but I feel that I think the change of hands I think is happening to a greater extent. I think it should work positive for the company in general.
Hospitals have been giving up gains for the last, 5 or 6 days now. Yesterday also, some of them gave up 5-6%. Any thoughts on this space? And, there's no clarity as of now. And most likely there will be no clarity for a few weeks more about what happens here with the court telling the center that standardized procedure rates. Maybe a committee will be formed. Hospital Association is going to the court asking for relief. What's your sense?
Right, Prashant. Well, I guess I think leave that thing aside till the time we get whatever the clarity we're supposed to get. I think as far as this space is concerned, overall the fundamentals and the business conditions of the hospitals, I think, is not going away anywhere. The fact remains that I think most of these companies are quoting at a valuation which is far more, I think, ahead of its time. Maybe I think FY26 or beyond. I think in some cases, wherein I think they are putting it an expensive one, largely because of the fact that I think they are also expanding the hospital rooms capacities at the same time. In my viewpoint, I guess I think the currently the investors are shifting and rotating their funds from a particular sector where the prices are seen, I think, matured fully. And probably I think the funds are being taken out to invest into some of the new IPOs or for that matter, I think the existing frontline stocks where the opportunity seems to be, I think, much more bigger at this point of time. So it's a rotation which is taking place. Some amount of profit booking is happening in some of the sectors. I guess I think it's true for even hospital sector as well. So from that particular point of view, I think nothing wrong with the fundamentals per se at this point of time. But I think the shifting of the investment from one to another is possibly the resultant outcome of, I think, softening of the price.
All right, Devin, a shorter conversation than usual, but thank you very much for being with us here on the program. Thanks indeed. Well,